Trophy is reaching its boiling point after 3 high-octane days of twists and turns. The final test between India and England hangs by a thread, and the stage is set for a thrilling climax. India have surged ahead thanks to an inspired century by Yashasvi Jaiswal, a gritty 50 from nightwatchman Akash Deep, and a late blitz by Washington Sundar that left England's young seavers gasping. Now with 324 runs to get and just 8 wickets in hand, England will need to summon their best baseball spirit to defy the odds. Can India level the series with the new leadership at the helm, or will England pull off yet another record chase at the Oval? Stay with us as we break it down with in-depth analysis, live updates and the expert opinions right here on DD India, the Oval Showdown. So it's going to be, I think, the last day of this test match, despite of the fact it's the 4th day. And let's take a look at the summary so far what happened. India-England series is set for a dramatic finish, as today could be the last day of the 5-match series. Here how things panned out over the course of 3 days. If you take a look at day 1, the way India batted first and scored 224 runs, and Sai Sudarshan scoring 38, Karun Nair scoring 50. So we are hoping that India will continue that thing here. They posted 224 and Karun Nair stood tall with 57 runs. Gus Atkinson took 5 wickets for the England. In reply, England's opener raised to 109 for 1 before Mohammad Siraj and Prasidh Krishna led a fiery comeback. Both pacers claimed 4 wickets each, dismantling England for 247, managing to take only 23 runs lead. And talking about the second inning, India's second inning, India posted 396 in their second innings, with Jaiswal's century being his second 100 of the series. India dominated most of the day 3, taking lead to 273 thanks to 50s from night watchman Akash Deep and all-rounders Washington Sundar and Ravindra Jadeja. Night watchman Akash Deep contributed significantly with a career-best 66 run, forming a 107-run partnership with Jaiswal for the 3rd wicket. Ravindra Jadeja continues his strong batting performance with 53 runs. Washington Sundar provided late innings fireworks, scoring 53 runs of 46 balls, including 4 sixes. His aggressive batting helped boost India's total. And England began their chase. Crawley and Duckett batted with much more positive approach than we used to deny Akash Deep, Prasidh Krishna and Mohammad Siraj, and until the penultimate ball of the day, when Siraj went through Crawley's defences, bowling him out for 14 runs. Ben Duckett remained unbeaten on 34 as England finished at 54-1 at stumps. England will still hope for Headingley-like chase, and India will look to make amends. Either way, we should have a dramatic finish to a dramatic series today or maybe tomorrow. And with India needing 8 wickets and England chasing a mammoth 324, the Anderson-Tendulkar Trophy balanced on a knife's edge. Joining us today to break down this dramatic test and the series-defining implications, Malay Nirav, a veteran sports analyst known for his in-depth tactical insights. And Malay, a very warm welcome. The way series has panned out, we saw that throughout right from the first test match we saw in Leeds, and here both the sides are trying hard to be there to finish the final line. So Malay, today India can defend 324 runs, and if you take a look, in the past England chased 371 in the 5 test of the series with 5 wickets in hand and cruised to 378 against India at Edgbaston 3 years ago without breaking a sweat. But this test match yesterday moved towards India.
Yes, it did, and wonderful strategy by Mohammad Siraj, and also the captain Shubman Gill. The way they planned it out and the way they got the wicket just on the penultimate ball, that was something which was marvelous, because whenever Siraj has bowled a fuller length ball, he's got a wicket. And this happened in the first innings also when he got a wicket. This happened in the second innings of England also. So that way, the strategy was perfect. Now, had that wicket not been there in India's bag yet, things would have looked a little more difficult, because right now, today, as things stand, you have to take only 8 wickets. And once you have 8 wickets in your bag, then England will not be able to win the series and India will be happy drawing it. So that way, I think so far the strategy has worked very well. And also, let me tell you that when we talk about players and when we talk about the fact whether they are batsmen or bowlers or whatever, for example, Washington Sundar, or before this, long before this, Ravindra Jadeja, both of them class spinners and class bowlers. Now, after the England series, nobody will have any doubt in one's mind that these two are all-rounders, because they have delivered both ways and they have done an excellent job. So that is something again. Now, look, as I was telling you in your last program, but Yashasvi Jaiswal, people were saying he was out without making runs, and what is it, and why inconsistency? See, Jaiswal is not accustomed to the old style test cricket where you just keep blocking and just hang on the wicket for as long as you can. That is not the Jaiswal type of cricket. However, when he gets going, nothing can stop him. And that is what he did. So, Yashasvi, true to his name, I think is doing wonderfully well. And so are all others. This team of youngsters has taken things in the right stride. What they have, Narayan, final comments that they have from my side, initial comments is that the Indian team has proved that it has the mettle to replace any big star, any big name big names who have done wonderfully well in the past. And they have done so well in the series. They lose or they don't lose is a different matter altogether. But you know that the test cricket in India is in safe hands, very, very safe hands now.
Rightly mentioned, as you said, that the way our youngsters, our young breed of cricketers played, as you mentioned, the Indian cricket is in safe hand, and it shows the kind of batting skills they displayed here in the England series. And coming to Deepika, if we talk about this match, especially the way Indian pacers, in the absence of Bumrah, they have performed a fantastic performance by Prasidh Krishna and Mohammad Siraj. But today, India need, we can say, the 8 wickets, because it's not possible, I think, that Chris Woakes will come with a single hand to bat. Do you think that this English batting lineup, especially down the order, we saw that they have few players, Harry Brook is there, Joe Root is there, are they capable to make 324 today?
Well, Narayan, when we talk about today's game, looking ahead and wanting to take those 8 wickets, and for that, India has to really up their A game against Team England. When we talk about the bowling, it started on a very good note with Mohammad Siraj taking the wicket of Zach Crawley and breaking that very crucial partnership, because the first initial 90 minutes of today's game would be really important. But as you said, we are also looking forward to the game of Joe Root, and also, they are planning to bring in Chris Woakes with an injury, because we've also heard the English analyst saying that if Rishabh Pant can play with a fractured foot, then why not Chris Woakes, and why not England can up their game against Team India, because this is just like a deja vu position for Team England when we talk about the Headingley match and chasing the mammoth total. But here, when we talk about the batting lineup of Team England, and considering the overcast situation as well, because we were earlier expecting that there would be sun around, which would make the wicket even flatter, which is the current situation right now. But again, we are expecting some sort of overcast situation today again in the Kennington Oval. But looking ahead of today's match, and when we heard the team England yesterday, they said that they are pretty much chilled out when they talk about their performance and their game against Team India, and they have their strategies planned up for that, considering the performance they've seen of Team India, but also I think down the line, and just at the back of their minds, they are somewhere afraid of the kind of performance they have seen of Team India, especially what we saw from Jadeja down the order, Washington Sundar, night watchman Akash Deep, what they've been doing, scoring their 50s, which is not a very usual side that they can see from India. And as the guest also was discussing with you, Mr. Malay Nirav discussing with you, that this is a very positive side and this is a very promising team that India is showcasing ahead for the upcoming series as well. And Yashasvi Jaiswal, 6 test centuries, coming 4 against India, 1 against West Indies, 1 against Australia, speaks volumes about Team India's grit and determination. But the game is not over yet. The grit and determination has to be really consistent. Both the teams have to be really consistent, and we are looking forward to Joe Root's performance and performance from other batters. But then, would they be able to survive the pressure? Because the pressure is already there. But India has also, they really need to up their A game against England when it comes to bowling today. Narayan.
A very strong batting lineup for the England side also. Oli Pope is there and Jacob Bathel is there. And if we talk about other batsmen, Jimmy Smith, the way he batted throughout the tournament, Harry Booker is there. And also if you take a look in the first test match of this series, England chased down 371 and 3 years back 378 they have chased down. So this side with the baseball capacity, baseball capability they can do. But this English, we can say Indian bowling lineup, I think they have the capability. Coming to you, Malay, talking about the injury replacement. In the match, we saw Rishabh Pant injured and he came to bat with a fractured toe. And now there's a second case, the way Chris Woakes injured his left shoulder. So do you think that the ICC should take cognizance of this? They should also bring some rules for the injury replacement. They have the rules for the concussions, but it's very important, do you think, to bring the rules for the injury replacements too?
Well, if you want to keep this game a game of human beings, then you just can't go on. You can't go on making changes in the rules to suit the individual needs and the individual adjustments required in a team. See, digitalization or AI, all these things which have happened, the new referral system, the DRS system which was introduced, everything that you see, the rules which were changed with regards to concussion on the field, these. I'm an old timer. I have a slightly orthodox view on it. I feel it's a game which is being played by human beings, right? The chance of getting injured of a player is there for players from both the teams. How many players will you keep replacing? See, this is not a game of rugby. This is a game where you may get hit, you may get injured, but if 1 out of 11 get injured in a match, and then tomorrow you may find that the number has gone up from 1 to 8, because there will be this kind of a reassurance for the captain that once your player gets injured, or the player himself, there'll be another to take over from him. And that is where the game will lose its dynamism. It will lose its vitality. It will lose the brilliance that it has acquired because of its unexpectedness, because of the fact that you cannot predict what is going to happen. See, we are all talking about Woakes. Now, let me tell you one thing. Woakes is not at all a batsman. So even if he's absent on the ground and say he's not able to bat, now, theoretically, you can say that had he been there, if Akash Deep can make runs, Woakes can also make runs. But that is only in theory that we can talk about. In practice, how much did you expect from Woakes which you feel he will not be able to contribute? So I have a different take on this. I think that when a game is being played by human beings, let it be played in a humane fashion. Let it not turn into artificial video game kind of a thing where you get replaced by another one the moment you get hurt. And you have 3 players that you can choose from and one will replace the other. The game will lose its finesse, it'll lose its sophistication, it'll lose its physique character.
But it's now 10 versus 11 if he doesn't comes to play, because if you take a look, even in football, it's 10 versus 11. It's very difficult for any team. And yesterday, his absence as a bowler, just we can say that didn't help the England team. The way India posted a big total. Coming to you, Deepika, talking about Ravindra Jadeja, fantastic series for him, more than 500 runs, more than 650 plus scores, first time a player in the history of the India-England series scoring that much of the half centuries. So if you take a look, this series, a fantastic Ravindra Jadeja we saw. If you took previously in the Gavaskar Trophy, he has only single 50, and before that in the series between India and New Zealand at home in India, he didn't score even a single half century. So how do you look the evolution, especially of Ravindra Jadeja at the age of 36 for India right now?
When we talk about this Indian lineup, Narayan, this has been really spectacular. You know, you're talking about Ravindra Jadeja and the brilliant scores we've seen so far. And it's not only about Jadeja, he's been doing really well. And you just told us the scores, the statistics, the brilliant statistics he boasts currently on the pitch. But it is also about the other players, you know, Akash Deep scoring 50 and Yashasvi Jaiswal doing so many scores. Now, it is also said that the current coach, Gautam Gambhir, the current manager of the team, coach of the team, he also, when he played against England during the test match format, he's never been able to make a 50. So here when we talk about it, is because playing against the English side in the English conditions is a very tough task. So when we talk about the test series format, the class format, and then, scoring such decent runs, making half centuries and centuries, staying on the pitch, staying calm and composed, and then, giving a very tough call, a very tough time to Team England is altogether a very tough task. And when we talk about the overall statistics, the kind of batting that we've seen so far, on behalf of Team India, it's been really historical and has been creating many records. And so far, I think in many decades, we've seen India playing so good. When we talk about the runs India has scored so far across all the 4-5 matches in this particular test series, they've been really spectacular. And all the players have been playing like a team in this, including Ravindra Jadeja, including Akash Deep, Washington Sundar, straight from the beginning to the middle order, to number 3 position, which has been really contentious, where they've been changing it, and to the lower middle order. And this altogether has come up as a very good team. And as you mentioned, Ravindra Jadeja has also really done brilliant and absolutely amazing when we talk about the runs and scores. And to give you the latest update, England side has used the heavy rollers and the sun is out. So it is a pretty much favourable side for the batting order at the current moment there in the Kennington Oval, Narayan.
Right, as you mentioned that the way Ravindra Jadeja just played a crucial, we can say that a catalyst in this series for India. Definitely this series for Ravindra Jadeja will be remembered forever. At the age of 36, how he goes ahead, how the team goes ahead, how the team approaches him, definitely remains to be seen. Malay, talking about today's day. Earlier we were talking about there are 324 runs for England, and we know that the way Prasidh Krishna and the way Siraj has performed. So what makes Siraj special, especially in the absence of Bumrah? In the Edgbaston too, we saw that in the absence of Bumrah, he is just playing a fantastic, we can say that's a bowler, and again here he was fantastic. So share something about the attitude of this player.
First of all, my apologies to Deepika. Deepika, when you were saying that the sun is out and the weather is lovely, etc., it doesn't mean anything for England. In England, the sun is out at one moment, it will be playing hide and seek with the clouds the next moment. And today's weather at Oval is anybody's guess. So when you are saying, how is the day, Malay? The day to a great extent depends upon the weather gods, and also whether there'll be enough sunshine. But now I'm going to link it with Siraj. So if the weather gods are not so kind, to the English team, then these overcast conditions and the clouds hovering over the heads of the batsmen are going to be playing the spoil sport for them. Then Siraj easy, and he will be ably assisted by Prasidh Krishna and Akash Deep and others. So then things will be different. So a lot will depend on the weather, and nobody on this earth have lived in England for 11 years. Nobody can actually predict the English weather. So the weathermen all over the world fail only when it comes to predicting the English weather. And at the Oval itself, I have seen so many matches where it is perfectly bright and the sky ideal for the cricket, the game of cricket, and then very next moment you realize in the second session that there is a heavy downpour. So whether the match will end today or tomorrow, that also nobody can predict because of the weather. So given the fact that the weather is not so conducive as it normally should be to the batsmen, and that there will not be enough light, perhaps, and there will be overcast sky, they'll be playing hide and seek with the clouds, I think it's a good sign for the Indian bowlers. They will try and they will cause maximum damage to the English team, and the English team will have to, if they go all out in their West ball style, they know they will not be able to stand there for long. And if they start crumbling down, just like a pack of cards, then wickets will be falling like dandruff.
Right. Definitely, the weather is very unpredictable in English condition. We know that in one session we will see there is a bright sunshine, and very next there will be overcast condition, maybe rain may be there. So therefore, it's very difficult to predict the conditions there. And as Malay said that even we don't know that the match will finish today or not, because the rain may be a factor. But Deepika, overall, taking a look at the batting of the Indian side in this tournament, the way they accumulated a mammoth mountain of runs here, and all the matches, I think according to me, the scoreline right now would have been 3-0 in favor of India, the way they batted, but due to some mistakes, they lost the matches, drop catches, 63 extra run in the Lord's Test match. So what do you think? Overall, how you summarize the performance of India throughout the series?
Throughout the series, because like we were talking about it in the initial phase of this show as well, that throughout the series India has been doing really, really good, and we've seen new stars coming in. You know, take the example of Karun Nair, how he's proven himself to be a very good player. However, there were questions about Shubman Gill's and Gautam Gambhir's selection procedure, and on what basis are they really lining up the playing 11. But then Karun Nair proved himself as a very good resource for the Indian cricket team, and not only this, Sai Sudarshan was also a very good pick, and he played very decently. And yesterday when we talk about it, all the players taking up the pressure with a very positive mindset and with the grit and determination. And not only this, Rishabh Pant's half century with a fractured foot speaks a lot about it. And the English side, comparing it with today's condition for themselves, saying Chris Wokes can also be able to do something of that sort. Whether that would be done or not remains to be seen, because they are also under some sort of pressure. Also talking about Shubman Gill, he's not been able to score that well off late in yesterday's game also. But talking about the runs that he's amassed so far in the 5-match series also speaks a lot about it. And also the temperament we've been talking about, and claiming that, criticizing that he's been throwing a lot of pressure on the ground, and he's been showing this sort of pressure. But then the kind of combinations, because oval always behaves like an oval condition. So here, as also Mr. Malay Nirav said, that the weather is very unpredictable, but the sun would really help them for at least the first initial hour, because the first 90 minutes would be really crucial. And again, I would like to point out here, as other analysts also mentioned, that the sun, if it is coming even for the first period, for the first 30 minutes, it would really help the English batting conditions, and ultimately it is their home ground. They know how to play it across the home ground, and especially at the oval. And it is not the case for all the Indian cricketers who are playing in this current playing 11. Sai Sudarshan playing in Tamil Tamil Nadu and straight away playing to this oval condition. However, having some sort of English experience altogether adds a bit of momentum. But the kind of, the kind of mind, the kind of brain, the kind of skills, tactics, experience, everything that they've been applying, it is altogether a superb, display that we can see. And also Sunny Gavaskar giving away that very nice gift and giving away the blessings to Shubman Gill before the start of today's game also is another milestone that speaks about itself, because Sunny Gavaskar holds another record for himself when we talk about English conditions and playing against the England men.
Definitely a fantastic series for India. In the first match itself, we saw 5 hundreds by the Indian side, and also the way Shubman Gill scoring mammoth of runs, breaking the records of Sunil Gavaskar in a single series, the most number of runs. Jadeja at the number 6, the way he scored 500 runs for the India. But as Deepika mentioned, Malay, about Sai Sudarshan, the number 3 contender we used to see since Rahul Dravid played here, Cheteshwar Pujara was there, but after that we saw that lack of the genuine number 3. But Sai Sudarshan was the first number 3 after the since the Border Gavaskar Trophy to score a 50 at the number 3. Do you think this technically sound batsman who has a head and toe in the one line is suitable for this number?
Well, at this stage, it is very difficult to say that, yes, we have found the right number 3. But I must praise both the captain and the coach for having given a chance to Sai Sudarshan to come and bat at number 3. And he has proved his worth there. There's a particular kind of psyche, a mindset, which you need to go there and stand when you are number 3. Because for all you know, many a times, you may lose both your openers in the first 1 or 2 or 3 overs. So the one who goes there as number 3 has to hold the fort solidly. And when he is able to do that, especially when conditions demand that he also goes for runs, then he has to find this balance between what he does as a batsman while making runs and what he does as a batsman by standing there on one end and trying to encourage the player at the other end to be calm and to be ruthless when he gets a bat. Right? And that is where I think Sai Sudarshan, though it's still an experimentation, but I'm all for it.
Right, as Malay mentioned that still Sai Sudarshan is an experimentation at the number 3. But India need to fix this problem if they want to win the series in the overseas conditions, because as Malay mentioned that number 3 is a very important spot to create a balance between the top order and down the order, hoping that Sai Sudarshan will just capitalize all the chances he got, and hoping that India will also solve this number 3 problem. And talking about today's match, we are hoping that India will just go with a bang to win this match and just able to level the series. Thanks Malay for joining us, and thanks Deepika for giving all the updates on this all-important match between India and England at the Oval. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Narayan. Thank you, Deepika.
And for all the updates, keep watching DD India, and until we meet again, keep cheering your favorite players, teams and athletes. Namaskar.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games.